Okay, if you're leading a business today, you're probably up to your neck in conversations about AI. But, a new evolution is already here. And this one isn't just about getting smarter answers. It's about getting things done. It's called Agentic AI, and honestly, understanding it is about to become absolutely critical. So let's break down what that really means. And let's just be crystal clear about the scale of this shift. The source material for this explainer doesn't mince words. It calls this a change as fundamental as the internet itself. We're moving past AI being this interesting side project and into an era where it becomes the core infrastructure of business. And look, this isn't some far-off futuristic dream. Gartner is projecting that in just a few years, a full third of the enterprise software we all rely on every day is going to have agentic AI baked right in. That means the time to start building a strategy isn't next year, it's right now. So what is agentic AI, really? We've all gotten used to the idea of generative AI, the kind that creates text or images. Well, this is the next massive leap forward. We're going from systems that help us with tasks to systems that can actually do the work for us. At its absolute core, agentic AI is all about autonomy. It's an AI that can understand a high-level goal, figure out a multi-step plan to get there, and then, it just goes and executes that plan on its own. It's less of a tool you wield and more of a proactive, virtual teammate. This right here is probably the most important distinction to really get your head around. The generative AI we're used to, that's a reactive assistant. You ask a question, it gives you an answer. Agentic AI is a proactive agent. You give it a problem, and it works to solve it. It doesn't just give you information, it takes action. So how on earth does an AI actually do all this? Well, it really boils down to three core capabilities. First up is decomposition. It can look at a huge, complex goal like launch a new marketing campaign and break it down into a logical step-by-step plan. Then there's self-reflection. This is huge. It's not just blindly following those steps, it's actually looking at its own work, learning from mistakes, and improving its approach as it goes. And finally, action and tool use. This is the magic. It connects to other apps, it pulls data, it uses tools, just like a person would, to actually get the job done. Okay, that's the what. But as a leader, you need to know the so what, right? How does this cool-sounding tech actually create real, tangible value? Let's dive into three powerful business outcomes that companies are already seeing. The first, and frankly most immediate win, is just a massive productivity boost. Think about all the repetitive tasks and complicated workflows that just drain your team's time and energy. Agents can automate that stuff, freeing up your most talented people to focus on the high-value, strategic work that really moves the needle. And to really understand the scale we're talking about, just look at Amazon. They used an agentic approach to update thousands of their old legacy applications. And the result? Get this, they saved an estimated 4,500 times years of developer time. No, that is not a typo. 4.5 millennia of work. It's just staggering. And that incredible time savings? It translated directly to the bottom line as you'd expect. By modernizing over 10,000 applications, they started seeing $260 million in annual cost savings. This is what it looks like when productivity gains hit the profit and loss statement in a big way. So, beyond just saving time on single tasks, agents can fundamentally speed up entire business workflows. They get rid of those delays when work gets handed off from one team to another. They can even do multiple steps in a process at the same time, completely changing the speed of business as we know it. Take rocket companies, for example. We all know the mortgage process is super complex, right? It requires pulling answers from these massive, complicated datasets. Well, they built an agentic AI support system that could instantly access all that data. And what that meant was faster, more accurate answers for customers and a dramatically better, less stressful experience. But here's where it gets really exciting. Maybe the most powerful outcome is the potential to accelerate innovation itself. Imagine an AI agent that doesn't just answer your questions about data, but can go out and autonomously explore it, finding insights a human might have missed and rapidly testing new ideas, shrinking development cycles from months down to days. And this isn't science fiction. Genentech is already doing this. They built an agent solution that automates the incredibly tedious manual search that's required for biomarker validation. And this lets their world-class scientists focus on actual discovery, which directly speeds up the whole process of developing life-saving drugs. The potential is clearly immense. So, the question for every single leader out there is pretty simple. How do you prepare your organization to actually capture this value? Let's get into a practical leadership playbook for this new agentic era.
Look, the prep really boils down to 4 key areas. First, tech and data. That foundation you've been building for AI is now more crucial than ever. Second, your people. This is all about getting everyone ready for a totally new kind of human-AI collaboration. Third, process. Those rigid, old-school workflows are going to break, so you need to build in flexibility. And finally, governance. You just can't manage autonomous systems the old way. It won't work.
You know, the people part is arguably the most important piece of this puzzle to get right. This isn't about replacing people, it's about augmenting them. The winning strategy is to frame agentic AI as a force multiplier for your team's talent. You delegate the exhaustive, tedious work to the agents so your people can focus on what they do best: judgment, creativity, and big-picture strategic thinking. Your governance model has to evolve too. The old way was kind of like micromanaging an employee, right? You're approving every single little task. The new model, it's much more like being a board of directors for your AI. You set the strategic intent, you clearly define what success looks like, and you monitor the outcomes, giving the agent the autonomy to work within those clear guardrails you've established.
Okay, we've covered the what, the why, and how to prepare. Let's finish up with the most important part, the immediate actionable steps you can take to get the ball rolling right now.
Here are 4 concrete first steps. 1. Develop a roadmap. But make sure it's led by the business, not just IT. Start simple, learn, and then build toward more autonomy. 2. Collaborate. Actively encourage your teams to start working with these new tools and invest in upskilling. 3. Establish guardrails. You absolutely need dynamic security controls that are built for a world where an AI is taking actions on its own. And 4. Decentralize. Empower individual departments to experiment and find their own uses, instead of trying to control everything from the top down. Ultimately, the key to winning here isn't about crafting some perfect 5-year master plan from day one. It's about starting the learning cycle now. Pick a real business problem, empower a team to start building something, and then use that real-world feedback to figure out your next move. The goal here is progress, not perfection. Which, of course, brings us to the final critical question. The agentic future is here, and it's ready to be built. So when you look at your own organization, your unique challenges, and your unique opportunities, what business problem will you solve first?